And we're back. So Brandon accidentally went live outside the group. So we apologize that we are running a little bit late. So
Facebook's getting sneakier and sneakier.
So today is day 3 of the challenge. # confidence to rise. So tell us how it's going. How are the calls? What are you learning? What are the ahas? What are the transformation? How much connection have you been making? Has people been in their stuff? Have you been coaching them?
Morning, Hannah.
This is a great opportunity for you
to get
feedback.
Taylor's
hey,
tearing
Taylor.
it up.
How many calls did you make yesterday, girlfriend?
Michael, welcome.
So offended.
So offended. # so offended. Great. I can't believe you.
What do you mean?
So you know what's interesting is it's amazing that calls actually work. And I think some of us used to have beliefs we no longer do, right?
We're changing them every day in every way.
There's so many people that say, well, how do you get business? How do you fill trainings? How do you guys run your business? It's like, I don't know how I could run my business without making phone calls. Like, it's literally following up. We call them FUP calls, FUP calls, follow up calls. And it's just that exactly. Like, it's amazing how simple it is. It's so easy to do. Yet it's so easy
not to do. And it's so easy to procrastinate.
So
how
we applaud you all for doing that. Like, seriously, Carla, Michael, and I made about 15 calls yesterday. I probably had one really long call, and I had probably 3 to 4 really good connected calls, like just great conversations, 20 to 25 minutes, and it gives me energy. I've been working on in the business, doing a lot of spreadsheets and financial stuff and all kinds of crap that I cannot stand. I personally, and I know there's some of you out there that are like, you would rather do that, spreadsheets, financials, details, than make the calls. And I can tell you this, we both can switch that role. Like, our mindset is, if whatever we're comfortable doing in our business, like let's say you're really comfortable diving into QuickBooks, finances, making sure the bills are taken care of, making sure the details, the marketing, the content, the emails, blah, 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 blah. If you're more comfortable doing that, then definitely your growth is calls. For me, it's growth in the details and the schedule and holding myself accountable to making sure some of those detailed things are getting accomplished. I personally would rather make calls. So here's the key though, is once you learn sales, once you really have a control and a handle over sales calls, you can really begin to learn how to structure that into your day and still get the other things you need to get done and things you like to do, to the point where you can grow your business enough to delegate. But I really feel like you cannot delegate something you don't know how to do, and I do know how to do finances. I could do the books. I just don't like doing it, right? I don't want to get down in those weeds. So for those of us that really want to continue to excel and be a great communicator, the key to sales is, if you ever want to hire an assistant, hire a VA, hire anybody to your team, you got to learn how to communicate. And so to me, that is sales. Like, I got to constantly sell Deb on some of my ideas. Or Hannah, and so.
Or any member of our team. To get them on board, to make them congruent and get us on the same page. I mean, essentially that's what sales is. It's enrolling people in your idea, your vision, and then having the ability to execute it. And so what that happens in the sales call is execution happens when they make the commitment financially. So I want to hear a pulse on how everybody's calls are doing. Are you having those aha moments? Are people happy to talk to you? How is people's mood? Are there some people that are doing really well and some people that are down in the dumps? Let us know what's going on, because this is also a pulse of what's going on in the economy and the mindset of people out there right now. It's great for all of us to know so we can create reframes to pop people out of it.
Yes.
I truly believe that we're coaching through these sales. Follow up. I know. Whenever I write it, I'm like, one person asked me, I was like, hey, do you want me to F up with them? And they were like, F up? What does that mean?
FUP?
Yeah.
FUP.
Follow up.
Follow up. And hopefully that's how you're approaching these calls too. So today is 15 calls. 15. Day 3.
If you have not done your 5 and 10,
Tack
then
on
now you got
5.
30. Woohoo! Yeah. You got a day of calling it. Yeah.
So my goal today personally is to connect with 35 people. That's my goal today, Saturday. Listen, everybody's at home. It's a rainy, kind of an overcast day here in Austin.
You are the lifeline. You
and
are
it's
the
a
light
perfect,
coming into the world right now for them.
It's a perfect day to make calls.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful day to follow up with people because they're at home.
Yep. Most likely tuning into social media and getting garbage. Maybe not, but a lot of people do. So it's time to pattern interrupt them. Interrupt their pattern and get into their head and help them transform through a conversation, through a transformational conversation, because that's what sales is. So what are we going to do? We're going to build rapport. Number one, always build rapport. And I'd like to get some feedback on how are people noticing their ability to get in rapport quickly with their potential client. How's that going?
Yes.
Have you noticed yourself slowing down when they slow down? Are you noticing yourself lowering your tone of voice if they have a lower tone of voice? Are you matching and mirroring them? And are you able to ask really good questions when you're on the phone? Or do you feel lost? Let us know if you feel lost during these conversations and you need some tips on how to get back in control of the
conversation. Who's running out of like questions to ask, right? How specifically? Who specifically? What specifically?
For what purpose?
For what purpose?
What's going on in your life right now?
Those are really basic questions that can help you dive a little deeper.
Yeah.
So if you're having questions or challenging FUC calls, fuck calls, follow-up calls. I like it, Carla.
Yes.
We used to do that actually for real estate. We used to have abbreviations on the master calendar, and so we'd have FUP calls. We used to call them FU calls, and then someone was like, "I don't like that," and so we had to change it to FUP calls, FUP calls, because they felt like we were cussing at them. And then they left the company, and then we said, "Let's go back to it." F up.
Yeah. So the one thing I found helps with people that have less rapport.
State the purpose of the call within the first 5 minutes. That's great, Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Say, hey, the purpose for my call, and a lot of my scripts. So for those of you that are calling, if you're in real estate, or even if you're calling like insurance, if you're like calling like a leads list and you want some help on that, please reach out to me. I've talked to a few people with Glenn, Doug, Becca West. You know, we're calling defaults, probates, for sale by owners, expired listings, withdrawn listings for real estate agents. There's a very key script to get that first kind of foot in the door by kind of putting a question out there that you're asking them, that they go, like, makes them step back and say, I don't know what that means. And they're curious, and then they kind of thought, because a lot of people when they call, they go, well, you're calling me, it's kind of an intrusion. So you kind of have to like just break the ice and get in there. It's a way to get your foot in the door. So you have a really compelling, what am I trying to say, thought-provoking question that puts them on their heels. They go, shit, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I'm going to listen. If
it's somebody that you met before in the past, one of the ways to get in the door is, you just popped in my mind and I thought I would reach out to you and see how you're doing. I do that all the time, and it's true because people pop in my mind all the time, and I know intuitively if the person popped in my mind, there needs to be a call. And so I felt like reaching out. You popped in my mind. I was thinking of you, and I just wanted to check in and see how everything's going since this craziness that's going on.
I like to say,
bring in a conversation. It's truthful.
I had this dream last night. It's this odd, awkward dream. Then all of a sudden I woke up and I was thinking about you.
They're probably going to think that's weird. But
and they're like, really?
And I start laughing.
Yeah, so I thought I'd reach out to you and see how you doing. I wanted to see how's your world despite of COVID and everything else, right? So, no, make it funny though, right? Say, hey, I was thinking about you the other day, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I'm going to call you. So here we are. How's it going? What's life like? So really dive into questions. Questions are key today. So we're on step 3. By the way, if you are getting emails or you're not getting your emails, check your spam and make sure that you click on there. We've been having some issues out of our Entreport CRM because it's a new email delivery. So make sure you click on there that we're safe and trusted email.
I love Taylor. Good. I'm getting texts back after the call. People are thanking me for the call, and they really enjoyed our talk. That is awesome because you lifted their day. That is a beautiful response.
Becca had the same thing, I think, yesterday or the first day maybe.
Yeah. She said that somebody popped in her mind. She reached out to the person. The person was actually thinking about her.
And they were down in the dumps.
Yeah.
So many of us are, like, we're down in the dumps right now, and that's okay.
Even with all the tools that we have ups and downs too. And so whenever somebody calls us and reaches out and sees how we're doing, it feels good too.
Yep.
So, just be thinking about that. Like, a lot of people have even less tools and resources than you do, and they need your help. And having a lifeline just for a friendly conversation is really going to lighten up their day.
Yeah. Right now, all of us are in a little bit of, we're kind of like under promise, over deliver mode. And I think when a lot of people sign up for something or buy a service or order a product, they don't expect for someone to kind of reach out and say, hey, how's things going? It's kind of what I like to call an initial call, and it sets the timeline of the relationship moving forward over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, of whatever has to happen with the service. We do this in our real estate business. When somebody orders their listing to get online and get listed on the MLS and start selling their property, it's like we have an initial call, then we have another call, and we have like literally it's high touch within a 3 to 5 day period. And people, it gets them feeling really self-assured. What we like to call it's a reassurance strategy that lets people know they're doing the right thing, they made a great decision, and they're getting great service. So it's exactly what Hannah said is great customer service. It's totally that.
Yeah, because it's not just about the transaction. You really, truly care about the relationship and that person and their well-being. So that's the kind of mentality and the heart space you want to be in. I love this. Carla said, my challenge was to state the purpose at first, but the more calls I made, I started to figure it out. Yeah, and you'll have your own way of getting your foot in the door, and you may find sometimes you're like, oh, that was completely awkward, but then you can turn it around by building rapport, matching and mirroring, and asking more questions. And there's going to be some calls that you knock out of the park, and then there's going to be some based upon their state and remembering your state, you will maybe not feel so great when you get off the phone. So just know that when you have that, then trace it back in your mind. What specifically happened? Where did you lose rapport? And then what did you do internally? Because a lot of times you will project that into them. And so figure out what it is and get the learning immediately. So the key here is every time that you make a call, whether it's amazing, get the learning from it, like what did you do really great? And then the times that you feel that was a quote unquote failure, but we don't believe in failures, it's feedback, then trace it back and look at the call from a big picture point of view. Go back in your mind, like, okay, so what happened?
Hey, Brad.
Where did I break rapport? Where was it awkward? What questions did I ask that I could have asked instead? And so by that, then you're practicing, you're rehearsing in your mind what to do instead, and you're learning through the experience of it. So each time you get better, and each time you apply those new strategies to the next call.
So here's the thing. We're on step 3 of the 5-step sales process. If you can apply all 5 steps, fantastic. Now let's start with 1, build rapport. Step 2, ask questions. Really good thought-provoking questions. Who specifically? What specifically? For what purpose? Just dive deeper into your conversations and have a little bit more deeper unconscious communication with the person you're on the phone with. It builds really great rapport. And step 3 is you're going to look for the need. You're going to find and seek the need, right? What is the challenge in their business? What is the pain point in their life right now? Maybe it's just COVID. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's fear of the unknown. Talk about that and start to figure out that there's usually a core issue, and the business a lot of times is around that as well. Some people say, well, I'm not making any money, or I'm not making any sales. Well, how specifically? Well, because COVID has done this, this, and this, and say, so how's that making you feel right now? What are you doing around that? And then they realize, well, I'm really struggling to figure out how I'm going to support my family. Okay, so just suppose, future pacing, just suppose this thing doesn't last that long. What are you going to do? Are you still going to have a job? What else? What's your next plan? Do you have a backup plan? So you're really kind of just getting to the core of what else could they be doing, right? Mm-hmm. What else, how else could they operate, and where is that pain? And then once you get that need, you start to basically use language to make sure you fully grasp the problem in your mind.
Yeah.
Right? A problem that you can better understand, that you can thoroughly detail out, like you understand exactly their problem and you can construct it in your own mind. That's a problem that you can now move forward and link it back in step 4, which we'll talk about tomorrow, is linking that need back to your service. back to your product.
The mindset you want to have here is as if you were a medical doctor or a physician or a lawyer. You're doing the discovery. You are discovering all the problems and the pains and how that's affecting their relationship, how that's affecting their business,
Good,
how that's
Carla.
affecting their mindset throughout the day and how they show up and how they think and feel. And what is the cost of having this problem long term? We are living in the unknown. So if they continue to have this problem, how is it going to affect them? Is their business going to go bankrupt if they don't solve it? So you want to be listening like you are diagnosing their problem. And you're going to do this with building rapport, and you're going to be asking questions. Again, it's coming with the mindset of a coach of like, oh, this is what the work that we would be doing. This is the actual breakthrough that we'd be working on if we decided to work together. So that's what you're doing when you're asking questions, finding the need. And then you're asking yourself, okay, do I have a product or service that actually could fulfill this and give them a true, amazing, transformational experience and solve the problem with integrity? And if you don't have something like that, then refer them out to somebody else. Because this is where people get into trouble and they sell people things that they do not need. And this is why people have buyer remorse.
They limit their clients with their limiting beliefs.
I love what Taylor said up here.
I do a ton of emails, then calls. So my clients were like shocked I called, but so happy I called.
Exactly. It gives you it literally elevates you in the way that you do business, and people will respect you. And in fact, they will refer more clients to you because you really, truly care. Because a lot of times the business owner and a lot of businesses do not pick up the phone and call their clients. So there's a disconnect
They don't.
between these salespeople, the people that are doing customer service and all the things through the process. It really means a lot to people for the actual business owner to connect with clients. That's why we personally love to do our own sales. I love what Emily said too. Being consistent and follow-up.
Being consistent follow-up is what's been helping my business. People know that you care and you have rapport with and are touched, that you feel connected, and this is the kind of time in the world to do this. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing about calls. Calls is consistency. Look, I posted something there that these little things in the group, I posted like little habits done every day is how you create a lot of success. It's just those little tiny action steps. I was going to read, I'll do it tomorrow, the truth. The ones who keep calling, keep getting business. I've had people sign up for products and services and do business with us because I was the person that kept calling.
Yeah.
Like I kept following up. And there's something to be said about that persistency, right? The consistency of the call and perseverance and how many no's you took to get the yes from one client. So that's really important because, I've done that. I can't tell you how many times I've done, they're like, gosh, you're calling me again. It's like, they're like, you're not going to give up, are you? And I said, I'm not going to give up. I said, because I know I've got a product and I've got a service that I can really help you.
It's your responsibility. And it goes back to my story with the trainers that sold me into NLP. And I am so glad that they were persistent. They didn't let my behavior, acting out, my excuses, my own self-imposed limitations, they didn't buy into my bullshit. They only saw the potential and they were willing to do whatever it took, whether it set a goal with me, whether it signed me on the dotted line and committing to this huge financial investment that I didn't know how I was going to get the money. It was all these different things and the combination of all the touch points and the coaching they did around it to keep me enrolled, and it changed my life. So, figure out like what you're willing to do with your clients. There are some people that you may want to cut the tie because obviously they're not a good fit. But if they truly are a good fit, then it is your responsibility to go wherever it needs to go in order to help them figure that out for themselves.
So to dive into the finding the need, just say, hey, what's your biggest challenge right now in business? What's your biggest problem right now that, because of our environment, you're being affected by? Like find that need, and that's kind of how you start to get deeper and deeper. When you start in the conversation, you're like, okay, we're talking about all this surface level stuff. We built some rapport. What's the next step? Say, hey, so I'm really curious. You could say this is part of the reason for my call. You could say, hey, what's one of your biggest challenges right now because of everything we're going through with COVID-19? You could say, well, with regards to sales, what is your biggest area of growth? There's so many ways to say it to get somebody to be like, oh, cool, this is going somewhere. I'm going to get some value out of this conversation. Hey, Carly, hey, Goalie, Ashley?
Yeah, totally, Kayleen. That's why people have bad reputations, because people either don't ask the right questions to really truly find the need, and then they sell them into something that they don't need, or they try to create or invent, or they believe that their product or service solves every problem, and then they sell people without integrity into those things. So, like, we know if somebody's not a good fit, they're not a good fit. Because we've actually made the mistake in the past. We actually thought that person was a good fit, and then it didn't turn out to be, and then we saw that there was buyer's remorse. And it will happen from time to time. You will make a mistake, and know that intuitively you'll know in the right time, is this a good fit? Based upon all the questions you're asking and all the problems that they have, ask yourself, do I have a solution to this? If not, refer it out to somebody else. And it is so empowering to be able to have a sales conversation, be like, you know what? I don't think it's a good fit with us. And I do know somebody that actually could help you.
I could refer you to.
Yeah.
So one thing, if we're making calls and you're on the phone with somebody who maybe you're trying to like build deeper rapport with, I always like to say, so well, what are you doing for sales right now? How are you making sales? What's working for you? Is it calls? Is it emails? Is it text messages? And you might find right there, that is their need, because they are stuck. And the one thing I like to say is, hey, something I'm doing right now is I'm actually making sales to reach out. I'm making calls, phone calls, to reach out to my past clients, reach out to my warm people, and really make sure that I take care of how they're doing and what they're up to. So that's something that it's like really important to me is, so how are you doing in sales? Are you making some money right now despite this market? And if they say, no, I'm down in the dumps, well, listen, you've got a phone, you can start reaching out. This is what I'm doing. Start taking action in your business. It's a Band-Aid approach. It's a little bit of coaching. You want to be careful you don't go overboard. But if they're in another industry, look, there's so many people that could use this little bit of a motivational boost to say, hey, we got to get off our butts and we got to start taking some action and do something in our businesses. Laying around all day, despite the coronavirus, isn't going to make people happy. It's not going to help someone. And so you might be talking to the very person on the other line that could be doing this in their own business. So that is a projection. You say, hey, this is a great projection. I want to give you this projection. What could you do if you started making calls? Could you make 5 calls today? Use that as what the very thing you're doing, use that against them, not against them, but use it to motivate them, right? Maybe to light a fire under their butt.
I love that, Taylor, and focus more on partnerships and collaboration. Yeah, I know. When I go into these
total
calls,
relationship
especially
building.
right now,
Absolutely.
Especially right now, I mean, and you're following up with some people that you haven't spoke to in a long time, so you're just kind of getting a pulse of what's going on in their life. And so in the back of their mind, you're saying, okay, is this a potential client for me? Is this a potential collaboration opportunity? Is this a partnership? Is this somebody that I could help refer to somebody in my network?
Yep.
So it's like you have all these different doorways, and based upon the questions you're asking and where the conversation is going, and based upon your diagnosis of what's going on, then you guide them into whatever doorway is appropriate in the moment. Only if it is a good fit for you to work together and you have the solution to the problem. It's like, bing, 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 bing. I can help you with that. Like 100%. Hell yes. Integrity all the way. 100% sister. Then you go through that doorway of, okay, let's talk about this because I may have a great offer for you.
Good morning,
but if there is no need and you're doing the diagnosis process and asking questions, you're like, oh, this would be a great collaboration. Oh, this would be a great referral from one of my really good friends. Oh, this is a good partnership. Or this is just a support call.
Right.
Yeah, it could just be a support call.
That's a great point because we've been doing that too. Say, hey, you know what? We're actually looking for partnerships, strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
Might that be you? Let's find out. Let's talk a little bit more what that might look like. And do you have any strategic partnerships that are successful at the moment? So that's really key.
It's coming in the mindset of completely giving, and then also being open to receiving too.
Abundance, prosperity, success.
So not blocking
wealth.
Receiving, but not giving. I'm like not giving with intention either.
Moving
so it's
forward.
like I give to give, and I receive if there's an opportunity as well. So it's that even exchange, but there's no expectations on it. But then, if there is a doorway that you can walk through that truly can help them, then go through the process that we're going to teach tomorrow. But when you're asking these questions, again, you want to be in the mindset of a doctor, a physician, of like asking them what's going on, what specifically, how does it hurt, when do you do it, when do you not do it, how does it affect your future, how does it affect you right now, like what is your worst fear right now? You can even ask that. What is the biggest fear that you have right now? What is the biggest frustration that you have?
I do say that, Hannah, don't I? I've said before, so, it sounds like we're not a good fit. Who else do you know? Who also do you know that would like to double their income this year?
Yeah.
Or who do you know that maybe is a competitor or maybe in your industry that would like to, get their team aligned, increase sales, shorten sales cycles, and make a lot more money than they did the previous year?
I love that because, there's always an opportunity. You give them a referral, you give them, some information to someone that could help and solve their problem, but maybe they're not a good fit for you. And so then you ask them, like, who in your network who is the next person that actually could work with me, because I have some really great things that I have to offer as well. So it's a change of energy.
And here's how you ask for a referral. You don't say, do you know anyone? You say, who specifically is the next person you know that would like to buy, or who specifically do you know that's just like you as a client? Because we enjoyed working with you. We loved the way our process went. You loved us. We loved you as a niche client. Who else do you know that's a friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, competitor, whoever, that you could refer me to so I could help them in their business and their life? That's a great question. It's not, do you know anyone? It's who specifically.
Is the next person?
Who do you know? Who is the next person?
It presupposes that they have someone in their mind.
Yeah. And as they say, oh, it's Leah, you say, great. What's Leah's name? What's her last name? Good. And what's her phone number? I'm going to reach out to them right now. And they go, and then so many people do this on the when they get a referral. I'm pretty, some people might call it aggressive. I would call it more assertive. I'm more assertive, and I say, well, give me their name and number. You just said I could help them. For what purpose are you going to block me? Because a lot of people say, oh, I'll let them know that they'll call you. That never happens, by the way. So go after the referral, get their name and number, say, hey, I'm going to reach out to them on Facebook. Let them know, just send them a quick message. I'm going to give them a call. Because right now, people that need help, guess what? They're stuck. It's apathy. They can't move forward, and they're not going to reach out because they have a challenge. They have a problem. I just ran into this 2 days ago with a guy that I'm trying to help out, and he won't reach out. So I'm calling him, right? And I'm not giving up. I'm being relentless. I'm being persistent. So it's good to help people that are stuck. What do y'all recommend if you actually don't feel comfortable referring others to them? If you don't feel comfortable referring others to them. Did that answer what we just talked about, Hannah? I'm not sure.
If they don't feel comfortable.
Say then you haven't built enough rapport, right? Like, so how is it that you don't want to give me somebody's number that you want to help? I always say this. I say, do you really care about them? Do you love them? How badly do you want them to get help?
You can also
you say, okay, good. So you think I can help them, and you know that they need my help. Say, for what purpose do you not connect us right now? For what purpose do you not connect us right now?
It may bump against their value.
Sure it does. But it's also projection from the person that's not willing to refer, which means that's a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
I've got some knowledge, but I'm not going to give it to you.
Yes, but it could also bump up against their value. So if it's something that they refuse to do, then you could say, well, can you reach out to that person and ask them if it's okay for me to reach out to them?
Yes, Leah.
And then follow up with them.
Who specifically do you know? We love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hannah, no, you don't feel comfortable. Example, they are a coach, but you don't know the quality of their work yet. Oh, well, then you don't want to refer somebody you don't know. Say, hey, let me see. So if someone says, I don't think we're a good fit, but let me see if I can refer you to somebody who's a better fit. Look, do your best research and see if you can't refer them to someone else who you think is a good fit that they can do at least a quality job. And if they can't do a quality job, or you don't know if they do, send them anyways to see how they do with the client you referred them to, because that's still a great projection. By the way, if you want to get referrals, you need to give referrals. If you want to get referrals and receive more referrals from the world, you need to give out more referrals. It's a projection, right? Give and take. Receive, give and receive.
Cool. So I hope everybody is super excited because we want to kick it off. We are ready to go. And
Saturday's a great day for calls, y'all.
15 calls. Time to go.
Easy.
Yes.
All right.
So if you have any other questions, please put in the chat. Make sure to tag us after you're completed your calls, and also blast it on your social platforms, and make sure that you put that you have done the work on the thread.
If you're not getting emails, check your spam, because they are going out, and just click safe mail or whatever, or accept it, because there's some people that were telling us it's going to spam. So just a heads up there for every morning when the emails go out. And then if you have any objections you don't know how to handle, write them down. Write down objections when you're on the phone with people. I would love for you to post them, and then tomorrow morning we'll talk about them. I love objections because everything's reframable. You could reframe every single objection and put yourself in a better position so that the client really has to think hard about why they're saying no to you. So any objections, any excuses, any reasons, write those down. I'd love to hear from them. Do the post before your calls. Yeah, post right now and then go to town. 15 calls today.
Also, I want to tell the prizes.
Oh.
So, the prizes. So, we are looking for 3 winners, and each winner gets to choose what prize they want. And the selection of prizes are, dun, 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 dun. You either get to come to the 3-day business training, or you get to come to the 3-day hypnosis training, or you get a pendulum. So,
yes,
let's get it on, because these trainings are absolutely transformational, and the pendulum's awesome too.
I believe that for those of you that use the tools out of the 3-day business, you can easily go out and make $10,000 in sales and commission and revenue and whatever you want. And it will make you such a much better leader and communicator. So if
you've already been to the business training, then you come to the hypnosis training, and then you get certified in hypnosis. So it's just whatever you want. It's up to you, because I know a lot of you have already been through the business training. So if you want a hypnosis breakthrough for 3 days and to get certified so you can monetize it and do some hypnosis with people and have them breakthrough.
We might even have a bonus 4th prize. Who knows?
So
if 1st and 2nd place are really close,
so get in there.
Have another bonus.
And by the way, these are virtual, so it doesn't matter where you are. So we are going to be doing the hypnosis is virtual. And then also the 3-day business training, depending upon what they have. Even if we are doing it in person, we're going to stream it live virtually, and you'll get the recording. So get on it.
Beautiful. All right, y'all have a great day. Let us know.
Let us know how it goes.
Hashtag confidence to rise.
Oh, wait, I just typed in Yager training, the source box of Gmail.
Drag recent one to the primary inbox, and you get all those out of spam.
Oh, thank you for that hack. Madeline, by the way,
Madeline.
is an expert email copywriter.
Yes, she is.
I want to give her some props right here.
She said just type in Yager training into search box of Gmail, and all emails will pop up. Yeah, so do that and they'll come out of Gmail, or they'll come out of spam. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, good luck, y'all. See ya.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like our content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button below. We'll be posting videos every single week.
And if you want to learn more about NLP or a certification program or even performance coaching, come join us on our website at yagertraining.com, and you can find the link in the description below. We hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.